Good morning, Arlen and Team Kin. Just want to thank you so much for inviting me here this morning, and really excited to present what Graphite One has been up to and where we think we're going over the next year in 2025. Thank you for all those who have been following G1, and can't tell you how grateful we are for your support. And we're very excited to share with you the momentum that we've been generating at Graphite One, and truly believe that 2025 is going to be our breakout year. A couple of housekeeping points, we can get right to it. Please note the safe harbor slide at the onset. Graphite One is developing the Graphite One Project, which consists of the Graphite Creek property that hosts the largest graphite resource in the United States, and a planned anode active materials manufacturing plant in the state of Ohio. The Kin team will be posting my presentation today at their site, as well as it will be on our Graphite One site. So you can use this slide as a one-stop shop on the key parts of our G1 story. Same goes for this snapshot of our very talented executive team. We have the right team with the right experience, with the right business plan. All of that is critical, to use a word that's a perfect fit when you're talking about graphite. You see our share data, warrants and options priced right around our current share price today. And our market cap, we believe, is well below where it will be as our strategy and our story become more widely known. And as we are building the momentum, pushing to and through the milestones you see here, with help from key grants from the Department of Defense, a path-breaking offtake agreement with Lucid Motors, and a financing letter from the EXIM Bank. We're very fortunate that our anchor, the Graphite Creek deposit north of Nome, is in a state that lives its ethics to develop its natural resources responsibly. G1 has a degree of support from the Alaska federal delegation and Governor Mike Dunleavy that I know many companies envy. Here's the Alaska team: Senators Murkowski, Senator Sullivan, then Congresswoman Peltola, with us at the U.S. Capitol last July. We're there with Congressman Ciscomani of Arizona, home to Lucid Motors, and with CEO of Lucid, Peter Rawlinson, and myself, to announce our first ever all-in the U.S. supply agreement for synthetic anode product. Well, we know there's a new sheriff in town, and there's a new urgency in Washington, D.C. From President Trump and his executive orders to the leadership on Capitol Hill, the focus is on critical minerals, on their role in a strong economy and strong defense. This has never been greater. Alaska even got its own executive order for energy and resource development, a first for any U.S. state, and on day one of the new Trump administration. I also want to recognize the support we've had from a key investor, the Bering Straits Native Corporation, which made a unanimous board decision to invest in Graphite One. We value that relationship, and we will continue to be excellent neighbors in the communities near our mine, just as we will be in Ohio with our manufacturing facility. This new focus couldn't become at a moment too soon. I'm sure you know the US is 100% import dependent for graphite. What you may not know is that the US is now entering the 34th year at zero graphite production. When you're at zero for that long, you not only lack the material, but you lose the whole value chain of advanced graphite production. No one is processing a material that you don't produce. No one is getting their PhDs in material science when there's no processing or production. Like mine production itself, the center of gravity for graphite has shifted over the last 34 years to China, where 98% of all synthetic is produced today. And in 2024, China announced strict new export controls on the graphite materials the US is dependent on. So the US has to onshore that knowledge base to get back in the graphite game. And G1 is doing just that. Our technology licensing agreement with Shenyu New Energy is doing exactly that. The key elements of that agreement are our exclusive license to use Shenyu processing technology for the US, Canadian, and Mexican markets, and our first right to negotiate licensing agreements in the UK, EU, and Saudi Arabia, which happens to be home to Lucid's first non-US EV production plant. Shenyu will consult to us on a fee basis with a supply agreement geared to match our construction to production timetable. There will be no equity, no board seats, and no influence on management or outside strategy from Shenyu. It's part of Graphite One's complete domestic supply chain for advanced graphite material production, mine to manufacturing, from Alaska to Ohio and on to our end users. Our anchor is our Graphite Creek deposit, truly a generational graphite resource. It's 100% on Alaska state land. The US Geological Survey calls Graphite Creek the largest natural graphite deposit in the United States. They also came back to say last year, and I quote, among the largest in the world. It's open both to the east, to the west, and down dip. Since we last met, we completed a very strong drill season in the end of 2024. The results are pending. We'll come out with our feasibility, so stay tuned. And with our Department of Defense Production Act of $37.5 million, which I'm very proud to say was just only the second DPA grant made to a critical mineral mining project in the United States. We're on track to complete our feasibility study in Q1 of 2025. In terms of our proven resource, our 2022 drill program increased our M&I resource by more than 15%. Since then, we quadrupled our 2024 drill program with the funding provided by the Department of Defense. We're closing in on those 2024 drill results day by day. So watch the space, because the US's largest graphite deposit, maybe even getting bigger. The strike at Graphite Creek is 16 kilometers long. Those small circles to the right of center represent the area we've drilled so far. This will all be under the feasibility, where the projected mine life will be 22 years. That's about a 2-kilometer length out of that total 16. As you can see from the other drill holes, we've also realized the exact same results where the feasibility is focused. Like I said, this is a generational resource, and Graphite Creek is going to be powering made in America graphite technologies for a very long time. From our pre-feas to our feasibility, we're quadrupling our planned production. While we cut our OPEX per ton, our team will continue to sharpen our pencils to bring costs down even further as we move into permitting and project engineering. So, what's our path to revenue? First, let me ask you to forget everything you know about a typical mine development protocol, because G1 isn't traveling the traditional path for a resource development asset, when typically it would be first the mine, then processing, then manufacturing, building an advanced material for the market, and a long cash burn, as we all know, to that first pound of product and the first dollar in revenue. G1 is flipping the script. We're on a path to revenue even before our mine is in production. Our path begins in Niles, Ohio, in the heart of Voltage Valley, G1's site for our AAM production facility. By 2027, we'll be producing approximately 5,000 metric tons of AAM, enough to get our material out to end users for testing and qualification, where we will then move on to phase 2, where we build out our first module of 25,000 metric tons per year. And from there, we will move quickly to module to produce up to 100,000 tons per year. And that module approach will allow us the flexibility to scale to the market as it evolves. The economics are strong. You can see our capital requirement more or less triples to move from 25,000 to 100,000, but our EBITDA quadruples. With our lucid offtake inked and in place, we led to our letter of interest of $325 million to finance up to 70% of our Ohio AAM facility through the EXIM Bank, which we will start the revenue to production over the next year. I want to close with a look ahead to what you'll see in 2025. And as I mentioned earlier, our bankable feasibility study will be released towards the end of the first quarter, where a production decision will be made. In Q2, we'll commence permitting for our Graphite Creek mine. Project financing will commence for Ohio Voltage Valley AAM plant, starting with our loan application with EXIM Bank. All of it to move downfield on the path to revenue and the creation of a complete U.S. graphite supply chain. I hope you all agree, as we do, that this is a solid business plan, a very strong story from mine to manufacturing of an advanced material essential to the technologies transforming the U.S. and the world. Now, I know that's a lot to take in this morning, but I really do believe we are meeting today at a moment when the stars are aligning, when all of the factors that point to a project like ours have reached the inflection point. On behalf of everyone at G1, I can tell you we are confident we are well positioned to provide the US's first full advanced graphite supply chain. It's a good place to be in a tech-driven economy, providing one of the tech materials transforming the 21st century. All of the work our team has done, all of the energy, all the efforts has brought us to this moment today. The world needs more graphite, and the US needs Graphite One. Thank you for your time today and for this chance to share our G1 story. For those at Kin who've been with us on this journey, thank you for all of your support. And for those of you who are new to G1, we welcome you as investors as we move forward together. It's going to be a very exciting year. Have a great day.